Okay, I will explain about stress and intonation. For the first is about stress. Stress is the application of word that has more one syllable which makes more effort than the unstressed word. In English, there are certain words are stressed and the other words are spoken quickly. Each syllable has the same equality, so that also requires time equality. The stressed word has more time needed to say than the other or less important word. We can know the stressed word throughout any good dictionary which provide the stressed word. English has 4 levels of stress placement. For the first, weak or quiet. Second, tertiary or regular. Third, secondary or louder, and the last is primary or loudest. We must be careful when identifying the word stress. Usually there are only 2 levels identified because in English it gets long enough to need more than 2 levels stress. The stress is important to make the contrast, also to reduce the haziness when we are speaking. So speaker should pronounce clearly in a stressed word to make it easier to understand. When we are learning about the stress, it means we learn the key of good pronunciation and well understanding in English. Also, the stressed word will help us to make the better lesson of the speaking skill. So it divided into 2 types. For the first is sentence stress and the second is word stress. For the sentence stress, the pattern of stress and unstressed word in a sentence. For example, 1. Will you sell my car because I've gone to France? Second, do you have any brothers or sister? Third, I don't know the answer either. And the last, we aren't sure. So, to make it easier, the characteristic of syllables divided into 2. For the first, consider what the speaker is producing of stress syllable. And the second, consider what the characteristic of sound seems to listener to be stress syllable. So, for the word stress is divided into 3 types. For the first is first syllable, which the stress is in the beginning of the word. The example, father, open, camera. And the second is middle syllables, which the stress word is in the middle of the word. For example, potato, apartment, relation. And the last is final syllable, which the stress is in the end of the word. For example, so the example, about, receive, perhaps. So in word stress is also divided into 2 syllable words and 3 syllable word. For the 2 syllable word, there are 2 syllable word with a long vowel or N with more than 1 consonant. For example, a play, arrive, attract, assist. Also, there are 2 syllable word with stress first syllable and short final syllables. For example, enter, envy, open, equal. And for the 3 syllable, there are 3 syllable and with long vowel or more than 1 consonant. For the example, entertain, resurrect. And then also there are 3 syllable word when the middle and the final syllable use short vowel and unstressed. The first syllable is stressed and end with not more than one consonant. The example: quantity, cinema, emperor, custody. So after knowing the characteristic of stress word, we can study the stress word throughout the production and identical. The production need to measure the muscle of the lung to pull out the air more active for the higher subglottal pressure. The stress syllable are recognized because it's prominent than the unstressed one. And next is about intonation. So intonation is the process of how and why the speaker choose raise or lower to a particular point while the speaker is saying. It's also called the pitch contour or the pitch movement. There are four functions as the structural functions signal the grammatical or structural role of an utterance, and the second is the accentual function affects the prominence of syllable. Third is the attitudinal function conveys the speaker personal orientation towards what they say. And then function marks the turn-taking process is in an exchange between the speaker. So intonation also has the purpose. For the first is expressing the new information, second showing contrast, third expressing the meaning, fourth showing pronunciation, and the last is showing mood or personality. Sometimes when the speaker saying something, it will indicate what he is saying. Language has emotional range and contextual importance in different ways. So we must learn the standard intonation to get the good deal for the information we are talking about. Intonation refers to categories of pitch as well as their combination at each sentence stress position. The types of pitch category: concatenation, and the pitch of sentence fraction occurring before the first sentence stress. So there are 5 types of intonation. For the first is falling intonation. Falling intonation is the fall of a clear tone after the syllable is emphasized from the last content word. It used in statement, WH question, and confirmatory take question. It can be positive, negative, or imperative form. The example: where is the nearer post office? What time does the film finish? And second is rising action. Rising action is a rising tone clearly after the syllables are emphasized from the last content word of the sentence, and so on. It used in yes, no question, repeated question, question statement, and take question. For the example: when does the meeting start? Would you like a cup of tea? And the third is about rising falling action. The rising falling action is a combination of rise intonation followed by falling intonation. It's often used in two-part statement, into verses and listing. The example: dogs eat bones, but cats eat fish. And then, as we all know, dogs eat bones. And next is falling rising intonation. The falling rising intonation is a combination of falling intonation followed by rising intonation, used in shouting and politeness. For example: it rained every day in the first week. And then, I don't support any football team at the moment. And And the last is about type of intonation. Type of intonation is the pattern after the most important contrast stress of the sentence, used in statement with negatively charged emotion. The example: you shouldn't have given him all that money, you silly boy. So that's all for the explanation of the stress word, sentence words, and intonation. Thank you.